Man, my good friend Jason Austin. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Good to see that smile.
You too. You too. Glad to hear you're doing well. So you're in North Carolina, right?
I'm in
Something like
Raleigh
that.
right now. Yeah,
Raleigh, North Carolina, visiting your family, your in-laws.
yeah, man.
That's
All
cool.
good.
How
It's
was the
good.
trip?
Wasn't bad. Um, we got the new youngin, so 16 month left a little later in DC so he can sleep. So that's all I was concerned about.
I see. I
He's
see.
yeah, yeah. So he slept. Then it was me. It was a peaceful trip. So
He did
all
well.
good. Yeah, first trip. COVID baby.
No doubt. Yes, yes, he is.
COVID
So,
baby.
um, we might get into a little bit of that today anyway. So,
Okay.
listen, lending with purpose, Jason. We have conversations with clients and friends, and introductions to various forms of information and professionals and resources like yourself that we
Mhm.
use, that we look for, that we never knew existed, but wanted to learn more about. And so that's the premise of this whole thing. And it actually started at the beginning of the pandemic through COVID. And so today I was thinking about like what quick story could I tell for my
Mhm.
introduction? You might be able to relate to this. So I forget because I try to block it out of my mind. But several years ago, it's probably about 10 years ago, I own an investment property in my hometown. And one
Okay.
Saturday morning, I was out. I was either coaching or I think my daughter was in dance class at the time. She's probably about 3 years old, and so um, I was there on a Saturday, and my phone was blowing up, just back to back to back calls from a realtor who was the property manager for us. So Jason, I say all that to say, I picked up the phone, and she's like, "I got some bad news for you," and I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" She's like, I opened the door to go in to turn the utilities on because we're about to start to clean the place up so that we can lease it.
Mhm.
And Shawn, when I opened the door, water just flowed out of the front door.
Hold on one
So
second. So I'm gonna hit the sorry about that. They
no,
make it better on you. All right.
no problem. So
Yep. Been there,
she
done that. That's I
she
like
said
that. Yeah.
she said I opened the door and there was nothing, Shawn, but water that flowed out of the front door, and there had to be at least 4 inches of water in the house.
Hmm.
Um, and I just was calling to let you know that your place is pretty much destroyed. And so what
Yeah.
happened? What happened in that situation is that when the tenants left, I don't know if they did it maliciously or not. They left the all the faucets and stuff on, and
Oh,
so
it's perfectly done. Yes. If all of them are, absolutely yes.
they left all of them on. The electricity was off, right? Because we have a well in this
Uh,
place, it's a rural area, and so we have a well, and the electric was turned off, so obviously no water was running and stuff because the pump couldn't, pump the water to the
uh,
inside the bathrooms and the sinks and the faucets and stuff. So when the electricity got turned back on, nobody had to be there to meet the person to turn the electric on. The pump automatically started to pump the water again, and then the faucets and things like that were on. And it took a few days for someone to really go down to check the property, and so that happened. Moral of the story, the lesson that I learned is that I needed to do a better job, like in regards to the property management piece, like in regards to getting
mhm.
somebody there like right away and being there the minute that stuff comes on, but also to go through the property to make sure that everything's shut down and shut off, like the shut off valves and all that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And just don't take for granted that people are always going to do the right thing in your properties. And so when I knew I was talking to you today, I was thinking about that story and I was like, oh man, Jason could have really helped me back then because that was a big undertaking that we had to go through
Yeah, man.
to restore
Well,
that property, dealing with insurance. You should see the deductible on that particular property.
yeah,
Now,
it's real. It's probably a couple
yeah,
thousand, right?
2,500.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You should
25.
be.
Yeah, it was major, but Anyway, I say all that to say I wanted to tell that quick story to lead into why we're here today. We're going to be talking about, repairing and remodeling after fire, water, or storm damage. So before we get started into that, Jason, tell us who you are, what you do, and we'll get to it.
Yeah, man. So back to your story. People, it's okay, right? I spent. Sorry, I'm Jason Austin. I'm from Mississippi. Um, I've been in the DMV probably now for 14, 15 years. So fresh out of college, I get a call from my aunt who's lived in the DMV area for probably 30 something years, maybe since like the late 80s or something. And I used to come to DC, Maryland, Virginia for the summertime, maybe a couple summers. I'd spend up here and, just with her and the fam and just see something different. So this is how I always knew I wasn't going to stay in Mississippi. I may go back one day, but I was like, nah, I can't. It's too slow for me, right? So um, she called and said, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, looking for a job. I guess I'll figure something out. She said, I think you should be an agent. Agent. So my whole family, not my whole family, but my mom worked for Allstate for 20, almost 30 years. My aunt worked there 20 something, 30 years, and she retired there as well. And so they worked back when Allstate was Sears, right? So growing up as a kid, I used to get the Sears Row book, and that's all my stuff would come out of that book. All my Christmas stuff, my clothes, everything, because they got a discount, right? So I didn't understand it, and then at some point, Sears and Allstate split, and my mom was she was an underwriter for Allstate, and my aunt was in HR. So she said, hey, I got an opportunity for you to be an employee agent. You should come up. It's a good start. So I started off as an employee agent, grew the business, and then at the young age of 25, 26, found a couple of book of businesses and merged them and purchased them.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So at 25, 26, I was an entrepreneur, a partner in the business, but we had about 2,400 households, maybe 3 million in premium. So that's a lot. I had some ups and downs. I mean, like imagine you giving a 26-year-old a $40,000 bonus. Well, I'm balling instead of investing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Just
right.
just 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 a long road of understanding what business is. My family in Mississippi, my dad's side, they actually own funeral homes. So I grew up around business owners. So I did understand I did want to own my own business just because of the flexibility of them being able to move and do what they wanted to do when they want to do it. Versus seeing my mom's side, everybody had a job, right? I know that they clocked in a certain time, they clocked out at a certain time. Maybe, and again, they different variations of life, right? Everybody on my mom's side has a degree up to doctorates and judges, lawyers. Probably maybe a couple of people on my dad's side, but they're all living the same.
Right,
So it's
right.
just a matter of which path you want to take, right? Which angle or which way you want to go. And I chose the entrepreneurial side. So back to saying that I was Allstate agent for over 10 years. Uh, Sold the business. I saw the writing on the wall where agencies, when you start seeing the insurances, the Geicos, the Progressive, the online, the apps, where you don't have to talk to an agent. You can bypass them by making a phone call to a call center, who are basically agents. I mean, we all got the same licenses, but they are in a call center and they're trained to do what the company wants them to do. Versus the old school agents, I was your agent. So yeah, yeah, there's a sign on the wall that says Allstate, but when Shawn calls me, I work for Shawn. So my
Right.
goal is to make sure Shawn gets what he needs from that company, right? Because Shawn's paying a premium, which is paying me, but without that premium, I'm not here. So, but the companies want to bypass that and go direct to the client. So that conversation you just had about that water coming out of the house, right? Say it wasn't that bad. Say you walked in, it was just a dishwasher, right? You call your agent. I say, hey, Shawn, it's just a dishwasher, bro. You got to get your shop back, maybe maybe it buckles your floor here or there. It may cost you $1,000, but your premium is going to go up for the next 10 years. Pay for it out of pocket, and your deductible is $500 anyway. So you're only going to get $500 to $1,000 anyway from us. It's not worth it.
Right.
Now that conversation doesn't happen. You pick the phone up, you call direct. It's automatically a claim. Water loss. Doesn't matter if they pay you. It shows up on your system as a zero payout claim, which does affect your rates, right? So when I saw that writing on the wall, I was like, what's my next route? I was going to be a claims adjusters. So I went and got a claims adjuster. So I have a Florida claims adjuster's license. And I was going to just run roofs and storm chase, right? But then I also saw the checks that were being cut, right? Like, hey, wait. So as a general contractor who's doing the work, I have to I have to be on the roof all week and make what they make in possibly one claim. My mom's father was a general contractor. He actually built the church that we grew up going to, right? So
right.
He was a carpenter, man. So I was like, I've always loved to build stuff. I've always loved to see projects finished. I actually took a test from, I guess it's Sylvan. And the Sylvan lady told me, because I was having problems at Allstate, like, as an agent, sitting in the office every day, like coming to the same place, sitting, talking on the phone. Like, I like talking to people, but being in the same spot every day kind of gave me some, I was kind of getting antsy. So I went and took the test, and she was like, you should be doing something with your hands. She said, you should have a landscaping company or something where you're not sitting in the same place every day. It's going to kill you. So at that point, I ballooned up to almost 300 pounds, like just sitting, because you're eating, you're doing the same thing. It's just a routine.
I don't remember you being that big, Jason.
Yeah, I was almost 300 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
You've always been a big boy, but I don't remember you being.
I carried it well.
Okay.
I pivoted and my life changed. I dropped 50 pounds, like, because I'm moving, I'm active, I'm working out. I'm like that whole routine of doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
It was going to kill me. I didn't take a vacation for 10 years. And if I was on vacation, I had this right next to me at all times. I remember being in Vegas and, right after Christmas, a phone call, hey, I had an accident, I'm like, I don't care that you had an accident. I'm not saying I don't care, but, someone hit your car in a parking lot and you're calling your agent like the day after Christmas or something like that. But I was tied to those clients, and I was tied to my phone. I was tied to the business. So that being said, transition out, decided to start my own restoration business.
What's that?
And the reason for it. So just what you talked about. So when you walk in,
restoration.
So when you walk into that property that you had and there's water everywhere,
yeah,
someone has to mitigate that water. Someone has to come in, say, hey, we're going to try and prevent further things from happening. Mold damage, electrical damage, whatever it may be. Let's stop the water first, find the fix, tear things out that are going to be replaced regardless, and get you back to where you were, right? So if you look at, say, they have the phrase indemnity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It means to put you back to where you were. So if you see most insurance companies, they have that phrase of to indemnify. That means I want to put you back to where you were. But me passing off a lot of business to a lot of the larger restoration companies, the Serve Pros, the Puro Cleans, there's a lot of major. It's a multi-billion-dollar business all over the nation all over the world, really, with restoration. You have hurricanes, you got wildfires out in California, all of these things. When something happens, someone has to come in and clean that up, build those houses back, right? It's a huge business. You got people that literally storm chase for a living. There's a hail storm, they send They send trucks in. All they do is roofs. If there's a tornado or water loss or flood, and that's what they do all day, right?
Right.
But me
I
coming from that,
oh, my bad. Go ahead. I
no,
apologize.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, no, it's fine. That's
No, but
just so.
I had a thought though, Jason. So like
Mhm,
think about me and my situation
mhm.
that I went through. What would you have told me to do? Like what were the steps that I should have done? I know what I did, but like
Mhm.
really what are like if you were giving me advice now, if I were ever to go through that situation again, what would be the steps for me to get my property restored and to get to someone like you to put me where I need to
Right.
be?
So it's first thing is relax because people first thing they do is they do this, they hit the panic button, right? Like I got a wife and she oh my god, this I can't. If you have insurance on the property, even if you don't have insurance on the property, it's typically not as bad as it seems, right? Water has to get out, so it's pretty bad. Fire is going to be the worst, but you first going to have to find out what the source is. And you said they turned all the water on, so that's a simple one, right? We got to stop the faucets from being turned on. Step back and see what the damages are. It all depends on what kind of flooring you got in the house. Depends on where the water hit, how much of this drywall has to be cut up, and let's stop any further damage. Like right now in the summertime, if you have water damage, on a day like today in Raleigh, anybody who has water has mold by tomorrow, just because of the humidity level,
Got it. So you
right?
know that something coming
There's
after that.
something
So
coming.
like you have to look
Correct.
ahead too as well.
Correct. So winter times, water damage, pipes bursting from freezing, it's a little better because there's not the humidity level on top of that. So you're not going to get as much mold issues unless the water isn't cleaned up and you start getting to, you know, the hotter times. But that anytime you're having rain, water, summertime, humidity equals mold. So that's the main thing.
And at what point should I have called the insurance company?
Once someone like me or a company comes out and says, let me see your deductible. Let's assess what the damages are, right? Let's say that place, the whole floor was tile, right? It's not. It's ceramic tile or whatever it is. But it's not vinyl tile. It's a tiled floor that's grouted. How much damage can you do to tile floor? You suck it up, clean it up. You know, maybe have to pop your baseboards, right? And then new trim. You're good.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying? Versus the company that has to get that money because they got 100,000 trucks. So my whole goal with this company was to keep overhead low and put that money back into the client. Because yeah, I could have 10,000 trucks with Serve Pro or JC, you know what I'm saying, or I have 5 trucks with JLA on the side of it. But do I need it? Probably not, right? Because if I have trucks, that means I have to make more money. So the first thing they're going to do is come in and start cutting your drywall 3 feet up, boom, 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 you know, tearing out everything. Let's rip everything. That's before they do any assessments. Let's rip everything and throw it away, right? Like I've been in places after someone like that came in, and they've literally taken clothes, put them in bags, set them outside, and now you got molded clothes. Versus if it's contamination 1, which is just water, versus sewer water, anything that sewer touches, then yeah, you want to throw that away. But if it's just regular water, I mean, your clothes get washed with water anyway, right?
That's right.
Take them, put them. So let's take them to the cleaners. You know, let's get you. You know, let's sort through what you really want to keep. You know, and let's go from there.
So don't call the insurance necessarily first. Like in my situation with the water, call
Call your
someone that
agent.
does the mitigation, call the agent, which I did.
Call
I
your
called
agent.
I
Yeah.
called the agent first to ask, hey, listen, this is my situation. What should I do? He told me to, contact a company to get it cleaned up. I think it might have been Serve Pro or Service Master, one of the two.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they came and got it all cleaned up. Got it dried out and everything like that. I think they did. I know they did for a fact. They cut up the drywall and stuff.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
Yeah, I had to file a claim because it was major and it had
because
leaked
it
down the ceiling through the
right.
basement stuff. Yeah, down the
Yeah.
wall.
So at that point, you know it's going to be more, right? I mean,
Right.
it is what it is. And then also what you just said was the agent told you to call someone, right?
Yeah.
That agent and that someone work together. They're on the preferred vendors list.
Right.
I refuse to get on the preferred vendors list
Oh,
because
okay.
now, as a preferred vendor, I kind of got to go with what the insurance company is telling me because they're feeding me,
Interesting.
right? Right? They're saying I need this claim. That's Shawn, and this area. I need this claim under $15,000, Jay. It might be a $20,000 claim, but I need this claim under 15,000. Right?
So they cut corners and maybe not do the best work.
Not saying they're going to cut corners and not do the best work, but they're going to get the claim under 15,000.
Under 15,000. I see. I
You
understand.
see what I'm saying?
And then when do we?
And again, like labor
Okay.
costs
Yeah.
are, that's variable. So not saying they're going to cut any corners at all, but I'm saying if if you're on a preferred vendors list, or if that agent works with that person, there may be a goal behind it. I'm not I don't subscribe to that because I've seen it, right? And again, in dealing with, just being honest, I've seen a lot of my people take these insurance checks and not gain from it.
I see.
Right? You shouldn't gain from it, but there's enough going on that where you possibly, if you had carpet in your basement, and you probably shouldn't go back with carpet. Let's put you luxury vinyl plank that's waterproof, or let's put you tile down or something. So if it happens again, you don't have to file another claim.
I see. So at what point does an organization like yours come into play? Like when do I need to contact the JLA Restoration? At what point do you get introduced?
So what's crazy is a lot of the claims I deal with now are after the fact. I'm cleaning up what ServPro did. Right? They come in, they cut everything up, they tear everything out, and now you want it put back. And they're like, but I didn't like what they did. Or I didn't like how it went. Right? But I've dealt with claims. Last summer around this time, I had a huge claim in DC. I don't know if you remember, it was a huge flood. It was huge rain, like in July somewhere, maybe. And the whole downtown DC was underwater. So we did about $40,000-$50,000 claim downtown in a brand new condo building. The whole basement, they had all of their staging stuff for all of their, it was he's a developer. He had all the staging stuff.
Yeah.
In this basement, and it's underwater up to my ankle.
It got ruined.
About 70-80% of it. If it wasn't stacked on something, it was gone.
And what kind of services would you provide though? Like, what do you like?
So we came in, I'm there on the spot. So what happens at a time like that is you can't get a ServPro on the phone because they're so busy. That's the first. Everybody's having a problem right now. Everybody in the city is underwater.
Yeah.
So the first number you're going to call is the one you see on the screen. You're going to see ServPro, Service Master, Pure Clean. They can't come till tomorrow. So at that point, we got our trucks in. Guys pump the water out, right? Set DUs, set fans, start mitigating situations, start moving things off the floor that could be saved. Instead of just throwing everything away, we actually went through it with a fine-tooth comb because the guy literally had his degrees in there, or like artwork worth thousands of dollars. If you don't have someone who knows the person and cares, that artwork could have been thrown away.
Right. Got you. No, that's good to know. Like, so
we can do everything that they do. I just do it on a very, I wouldn't say a strategic way.
Will you rebuild though? Like,
yes.
So I needed to hire a crew to come in and do the work. Right. So fortunately at the time I know some people that are in the trade. So I was able to figure out exactly what needed to be done, how much my budget was and stuff, have someone come in and put together a scope of work. And then they did the work. They come back and the adjusters and such will review the progress of the work. And then they reviewed it and did a final on it. Is that something that your company would take on? Like you would hire a restoration company to do project
I,
or
I do it all. So and here's why. And I hate people that say I do it all, but um, going back to where I started, I was an agent,
yeah,
right? So I sold you that policy. So I know policies more. I know policies a lot better than most claim adjusters because I had to read through policy jackets every day. Um, they change annually based on your state. State regulations change annually, right? So you may see your policy company name change, right? Say you have Progressive policy AB 12. Next year maybe AB 13. That means they changed something in that 13. So if you're written next year, there may be something slightly different. Maybe there's a COVID piece in there that you didn't see, or something that changed. But you know what I'm saying? Because the world changes,
hold that
right?
thought.
And things happen.
Hold that thought. That was actually going to be my next question. Is
Mm-hmm.
what are loopholes and pitfalls that we should be looking out for? Like, since we're talking about my example with the
Mm-hmm.
flooding, and the
Mm-hmm.
water damage, what would be some of the things that I needed to know about that would affect my potential budget? Like something that I might think, hey, this is going to be covered in
So
insurance,
the main one,
take care of it all, but
the big one I see, bro, the main one I see is sump pump coverage,
sump pump
right?
cover.
Sump pump coverage. The other one I
Hmm.
see is water sewer backup coverage, right? There's a there. Say you're in a single family home, whatever townhouse may be, and you got trees out in your front yard that grow roots. Those roots, bam, they broke your main sewage line coming back into your house. Now you go into whatever your lowest point of your house is. That bathroom has raw sewage coming out the tub or out the toilet. It actually happened to us in one of our Rockford properties, right? Um, if the line moves a little bit up or down, and that sewer water can't get out, it's got to come back up into your house. If anything outside of your walls technically isn't covered, the damage on the inside is covered, but not fixing not the $5,000 it costs to dig that sewer line up and fix it outside. So these are sometimes a lot of insurance companies don't offer it, but your utility company may offer a coverage that says, hey, if something happens in your yard, we'll come out for you're paying them an extra $10 a month, and they come out and spend the 10 grand and dig up your whole yard and fix that sewer line. Those are the
Got
things that I've seen a lot of people had to come out of pocket for that. So that was one of the things that I want to make sure. Say that did happen to you, and you're only getting the coverage for the inside, Shawn. You're only getting the 10 grand for. And again, let me go back to simple stuff, right? You got 3 checks that come out of a claim most of the time, right? You have your dwelling, which is fixing everything,
it.
right? You have your damages, which is cleaning up everything, and you have contents. So your damages happen first. It damages the contents, and then you got to put it back. So it's 3 different parts of that check. So say it doesn't cost me as much because I don't have huge crew. Shawn, I can help you with 2 grand of that outside. Cost you 5 to dig it up. I got 2 of it because I got it in I got it in the budget for the putback.
Hmm.
So those are the things that I try to do.
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting to know. And I was thinking about this. Like, there's been some major disasters that are happening. Like, just recently in Florida with the building that just collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was destructive, very
Yeah.
much so. But like even the
Yeah.
hurricanes that we've had and the tornadoes and such that happen, across the country,
Yeah.
um, having to go through those things and not having the right person to guide you through it, I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine how difficult that would be.
Yeah. We actually have a property in Miami. It's mid beach. It's not North Beach like that, but um, that's one of those condo association. Um, you know, that's going to be a hot mess.
Wow.
But buildings are being So going back to what you talked about, the hurricanes,
Yeah.
Hurricane Katrina changed the landscape of insurance, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. You have something that drastic that happens, where you wipe out half of a town, right? And you got these companies like Allstate, State Farm, the major players who can't afford to put everybody back, right? Say you have a say you and I have an insurance company. It's the Shawn and Jason Insurance Company, and we own or we insure about 30 houses in a 60-house neighborhood, and the whole neighborhood burns down. Say those houses each are $500,000 a piece. You do the math. Can we afford to build all those houses back?
No.
Right? No. So what they did after Katrina is they went and got a company like AIG or another company that reinsures them. Right? So on top of, so if you ever see something that says reinsurance, on top of your coverage, there's something that says, hey, if Shawn and Jason cap out at 200,000 or 250, we got skin in the game where we're going to cover the other 250.
I see.
So, and it's, so these are things that change landscape of how insurance works.
I see.
Earthquake in DC years ago, they were never offered earthquake coverage, but now you can get a rider.
Right. Man, this is good stuff, Jason. This is good information. I appreciate it. What let me ask you this: how we're almost finished? Because I try to keep these within 30, 45 minutes or so, and I know you got to get to the little man in the 100-degree weather that you're in.
Trying to stay away with today, brother. I'm saying it's
yeah, we just had a thunderstorm. I just heard it lightning. I didn't hear it lightning. I heard it thundering outside.
Hopefully it cools you off for the 4th.
We'll see. What how can we help you? Like, what do you need? So how can we help you, number one? And number two, how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, man. If you hear about anybody who has any, so I do a lot of pro bono, right? People call me because I'm an insurance guy at heart. I've done it for so long. Nothing I can do. I might get a call about a car accident, right? What do I do, Jay? I'm trying to, I got a buddy of mine who has a full roof claim down in Nashville. I'm gonna fly down there and help him, just make sure that goes right. I mean, if I give a couple dollars, cool. Now, I ain't seen him in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. But I'm more here to help you. So if you see somebody that needs help, then I get help in the process because I typically, like I said, the more people we help. So as you know how we get down to like, I'll get blessed on the back end.
Yeah. You add value to you don't chase it comes with the amount of value that you add. More problems that you solve.
Yep. And then what we also do, because the pivot from just restaurant, because a lot of times and again, I had marketed, like, that's another thing, man. I'm proud of you and your marketing, bro. I'm trying to get there. So,
thank you.
I had marketed like I should. So I do a lot of renovation, remodels, because what happens is once I'm in your house doing a bathroom or water loss or whatever it may be, they typically say, hey, well, can you do this? Or can you paint this? Or can we need a new kitchen? So I got into that. And then also I got into that because of our big bro, AJ, who sold me this dump in DC, bro. It's crazy dump. This dump that just took all my money, all our bread. But luckily, I'm blessed that he sold it to us. I'm grateful for that dump. Yeah, we renovated it. Got a little change in it, and we're gonna be all right. So I got that. Yeah, I got that renovation bug, that renovation bug.
And how we get in touch with you? What's your website?
My website is JLARestoration.com.
JLARestoration.com.
Yep.
Singular?
Yep. Restoration.com. Yep.
All right.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Probably easy to get me on Instagram. I don't post as much as I should. My wife actually gets on me about that. She's a social media guru, and I don't do it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can
That's
always hit me up. Yep. I'll shoot you. I'll actually go on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't.
we just popped
I'm
on the
actually
screen.
going to drop my card. Yep. So I'm actually going to drop my haystack card on LinkedIn for you.
Okay, that sounds good. I just
Too.
actually dropped it on the screen here,
Perfect. I
JLA
see that.
Restoration .com.
Appreciate
So anybody that would potentially need some help or some assistance after any type of disaster, Jason's definitely the person to reach out to. I have a personal relationship, obviously, with Jason for many years, and I'm one of those people that will call him too if I have any questions about insurance or, I'm trying to think if I even called you when that happened. That flood happened.
I think the last time I got a call from you, you had just moved into your new house and had some issues.
It was a week into my new house.
A week into your new crib, and I was like, "Calm down, bro. Calm down." That's what we're gonna do.
I had an out of body experience that day just because the sales rep that sold us our house was like basically like, that's nothing. Just file a claim. I'm like, what? We just got here. Are you kidding me? Just file a claim.
What did I tell you? I said, we ain't filing no claims.
Yeah. I'm like,
no, we ain't filing no claims. That's y'all house. They ain't even mine at this point. My stuff's still out.
Yeah. I'm like, y'all just built this house like it's new. Like
Yeah, home warranties, new build warranties. Actually, I have a buddy of mine, who's finishing the house in Chantilly, new neighborhood. We walked it with them before they closed the walls in. I got a GC guy who's been in the game 30 years, and he's a framer. So I got people, electricians. So certain stuff. I'm like, nah. Before they close those walls, bro, let's look and see what's going on.
That sounds good. Look, man, here we go. We'll shut this down.
All right, what you got?
Jason, you get one person, dead or alive, one question. Breakfast, lunch, coffee, dinner, an email, or something like that. One person, dead or alive, one question. Who would it be? What would you have?
Man, it would be my grandfather, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, he died when I was 12.
Okay.
Raised me. We got the same last name. Raised me as his son. And he had 8 kids. And they all graduated from college. They all successful. It'd just be how, like to have a real conversation, like how do you do that? Yeah, like what am I not doing to walk in those steps to make sure that people behind me, and that name still rings to this day, in Columbus, Mississippi. So I just want to make sure I leave a legacy like that. That's it. It's simple. It's easy.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. I'm gonna talk to you more about your grandfather. I'd love to hear those stories one day.
Yeah.
But so grandfather, and you would ask him how. That's a great question because you get so much out of that. That's
open ended
conversation.
Like, we're gonna be there for a while.
It's a long conversation. Run you through his whole life. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Jason, I appreciate you you taking the time to hang out with us today.
Thank you, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, you had some really good information that you dropped on us, and like the things that I wrote down as well that I reiterated. Anybody that's watching this, if on the replay, just put questions in the comments and such, and we'll be sure to get all of your questions answered. Again, Jason's on the screen. But as you know, it's Lending with Purpose, and if there's anything that I can do to help anybody at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, it'd be a shame to have all these contacts and these relationships and not be able to share with anybody that needs us. Still continue to remain as safe and as healthy as possible. Sounds like there's a new variant out there. Y'all just be careful. As best as you can. We've learned how to manage through these times.
Let's go.
But don't let your guards down too much. Just be careful. But otherwise, we'll see everybody next week. Jason, I'll just ask you to hang on. I'm going to shut this down. But thanks again.
Hey, thank you again, Shawn. All right, bro. Love you.
Love you too.